This is the object lesson for lesson number 2 for the unit Identity Crisis. The lesson number 2 is called New Creation, and that's the title for the object lesson. Now, this is really fun, and it's a demonstration actually of one of the words that is found in Scripture. There's multiple places, several different places where the word transformed is used, and it comes from the original language in the Greek. It's the word. It comes from the word metamorphosis, or that's where we get our English word metamorphosis and metamorphoti, I believe. Anyway, so it talks about metamorphosis. Now the kids know this word because we talk about this, and they talk about this in school. That's what happens to a caterpillar. Now I want to read to you Romans 12:2, which is one of my favorite scriptures that uses this term and this idea, because what we're teaching the kids about, when you follow him, when you're all in, when you become a Christian, you trust him, then you are changed on the inside. You are changed from the inside out. You are a new creation. And there's an example of that in nature that is a perfect reflection of what happens spiritually in an individual when they become a Christian. And Paul says in Romans 12, he says, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And that word transformed is this word that we get our word metamorphosis from. And that's just one example. Another good one is 2 Corinthians 3:18. And you can look those up. And so the object lesson explains that in the text and talks about it. But I wanted to demonstrate how that works. There are two pieces. One is a caterpillar that's got a caterpillar on both sides, and it's just cardstock paper. The other one is a combined cocoon and butterfly. But on the back side of the cocoon is nothing, so you just got to pay attention to that. Nothing except a pocket. So what you do is you start out by just saying, you know, what this is, and they'll say a worm or, you know, whatever. It's a caterpillar, and you just talk to them about what they've learned in school and science about what a caterpillar does. He builds a cocoon, and so then you just hold up the cocoon. And so this is a twig. It looks like, I mean, that's a twig. It's supposed to be like a piece of a tree, and that's the cocoon. And you just talk about how the caterpillar, it builds the cocoon, and then it goes in on the inside. And then once it's done, it climbs in, it seals itself in, and then you know what happens after that, and they'll all say it. So as you're explaining that, you need to take the caterpillar, and this is important to watch and to show, maybe to practice. If you take him head first in like that, he's not going to fit. All right, so then when you try to show him the butterfly, you got a little caterpillar showing. That's not good. So what you want to do is you want to turn it over like this, head first, and then he goes in that direction right there, and that's how he'll fit inside. So what you do as you're talking, just practice that a little bit, and then as you're talking about how a caterpillar builds a cocoon, seals himself inside, and then on the inside, he is transformed. Metamorphosis occurs, and it becomes a beautiful butterfly. And so you're going to show the kids that. So remember, there's a cocoon on one side, not on the other side. There's a pocket on the back. And so you take the caterpillar, not head first like this, or face first. He kind of go in head first on his back into the pocket, and then he slides in. But you're doing it while it's shown like that. So you slide him in, and then after he's in and disappeared, then you can pull it out and say, you know, that's how he comes out as a butterfly. So that's just a great example of what happens to a butterfly, the metamorphosis, and how that is what's true for us as Christians. So that's the object lesson for lesson number 2, New Creations, of the unit Identity Crisis.